What's up, everybody? It's Jason from Straight Edge Knives. Hey, guys, got another video for you today, and today it is going to be on the Worktuffgear Asset. Scott over at Choir Boys Cutlery sent this to me, so I don't have all of the goodies that would normally have came in the box. I know this came with a belt loop for the sheath. Scott didn't put that on there. He sent it to me just like this with the sheath and the blade, which is fine. But so I can't really show you guys like everything that comes in the box. But I do know it comes with a belt loop, and I'm sure it came with some stickers and a couple other things. But I mean, what we really care about is this knife, guys. This Worktuffgear Asset is a clip point style blade, reminiscent of another popular knife from back in the day that's still around, if you will. Actually, I think you can almost say that about almost any of the clip point style blades of the Fuller. They all kind of took a little bit of inspiration from that iconic U.S. Marine Corps blade, if you will. But they are, when you get them side by side, though, totally different beast. This bad boy right here is a full tang 5-inch blade. Like, this thing's stout, man. This is a little tank. And what I really love about it is that it's full tang. The rat tail tangs are cool. They look nice because you can do different, full covered handles. But at the end of the day, if you really got to put a pounding on them, I don't necessarily trust them a whole lot to not break right here at that junction point, where it starts to rat tail. That's why I really I'm a huge fan of full tang blades. I just love them. That's just me, I guess. Everybody has their own opinion, right? But that's okay. So let's get into this, guys. Let's get to testing this thing. It does come with a nice Kydex sheath. I got a bunch of junk on my log here. It's a taco style Kydex sheath. Nicely well made. Just, man, I got a bunch of little hairs on here, it looks like. Knife clips in there. If you heard that click, it's nice. There's no rattle. I mean, really, very, very well made. It's not coming out. With that belt loop, I mean, it'd be totally secure carrying it on your belt. You could probably even attach a molly clip to this and attach it to like a tactical vest or a battle belt, if you will, and it ain't going to go anywhere. And this would be a good battle blade, if you will. Combat filled utility blade. It's got that style to it, but it's got the strength. I mean, it looks like it has the strength. We're going to find out, right? It's got this spooler in here. It's got a nice weight, light, full grip. It's got this little spiky pommel on here. If you can see that, you know what? And let's bring the camera in close, get a nice up close look at this blade and the sheath. I'll go over the specs, and then we'll just get into cutting. We'll get into testing, right? So stand by. Let me flip the camera around. All right, guys, here we are. We are back. Look at that. I mean, look at the sun's coming down on this, shining on this beautiful blade. I mean, this is awesome. I mean, kind of got the sun in my eyes, but that's okay. Hopefully you guys can get a good look at this, but check that out. This, like I said, Scott over there has already tested this knife out, so it's got a little bit of wear and tear on it, but that's okay. It's look at it. It's still great. There's nothing wrong with it. Check that. It's got these beautiful blue liners, full tang. Got kind of like little areas up here where you can pinch, kind of do a little pinch grip, if you will. You got to get up close for something. It's got some nice jimping up here on the back. It's aggressive, but not overly. I mean, it's aggressive where your thumb ain't going to go anywhere. If you got gloves on, you got to get in there, do some hard push cuts and stuff, do some hard slashing, no problem. But very, very cool looking knife. I like it. I really like it. It's got a lanyard hole. Like I said, this is that little pummel, that, little attitude adjuster, if you will. It does have a 90-degree spine right through here. Camera's out of focus. So you got to strike a fire rod, you can. It does have a cool swedge right here. There is, even on the swedge, just a little bit of a 90. Maybe not necessarily as good as this, but it's there still. If you had to maybe do your fire striking there, you probably still could do it. Just a little bit of an edge there. But very cool blade. SK85 still. Let's get into the specs here real quick while I got the camera up close. You're looking at an overall length of 10.5 inches. Back this out a little bit. 10.5 inches. You got a blade length of 5.1 inches with a cutting edge of 5. The blade thickness is 0.177. It's a saber grind clip point, SK85 still, with a 56 to 58 Rockwell hardness. It's got G10 handles with blue liners. I believe there are maybe a couple other handle color finishes available. The knife is 12.3 ounces, so it's got some decent weight to it, but it's not overly heavy. With the sheath, it's 14.6 ounces. And again, it's a Kydex belt. It's a Kydex taco style sheath with a belt loop. But again, I don't have the belt loop. It didn't get sent to me with the knife. But clips in there very nicely. Like I said, there's no movement. I mean, got this nice thumb wrap, so you can come in here and pop that bad boy off and get right to work handling your business. You know what I'm talking about? So let's flip the camera back around and let's get into this. Well, let's do some of our cut testing right here. I did this the other day with a knife, and I think it came out pretty good. Let me raise this up a little bit. So I got a little room to work. So I got the camera literally right here in front of my face. So I'm kind of, it's a little awkward sometimes because I'm cutting through the camera. It looks like, but obviously, you know, if you're out working a warehouse, construction, something like that, you might have to break down some boxes, you know, come in here, cut through your cardboard, no problem. You know what I mean? Got this really nice clip point style blade. So let's see, we had to penetrate some hard material. Like, so this is a fire hose. Okay, it's double layered. It's got 2 layers of canvas. It's got this outer layer, this inner layer, and the inner layer does have this rubber that's glued in there. This stuff is ridiculously tough. It's a bitch to cut. So let's see if we can't cut this. All right, got to saw a little bit, but I have to do this with damn near every knife because this shit is so hard to cut. Pardon the language. Look at that, cut through it nicely. And I tell you what, too, guys, this stuff, this fire hose acts like sandpaper because this is used fire hose. This has got dirt and grime and fighting fires and saving lives, you know. And look at that. That's a good clean cut with this knife. I have a very difficult time cutting this stuff a lot of times with knives that have, you know, that you wouldn't think would have a problem cutting it. Look at that, cut right through it, no problem. That is really good. Let's see, the piercing. This stuff's made to resist cuts, abrasions. You know, it's drug through car wreckage. You know, blood and guts and mud. And let's see if we can get a nice little stab here. I got a bam right there. Tip went right in there. It would have probably kept going through if the log hadn't stopped it, but right there's the tip. If you can see that, so it definitely pierced through it. Do a nice little cut through there. Look at that, cut right through it. Kind of drug it off and stopped cutting, but that's more on me than it is the knife. Go through here. Let's see. Oh, whoa! Almost lost the camera there, but check that out. Cut through that nicely, man. That's actually, I'm really impressed with that. Again, that fire hose is a son of a gun. Just my camera here, guys. Sorry. All right, so we know it'll cut through that. That's pretty awesome. Let's see if we get our little stab test on our catalog here. Yeah, it's about, I'd say about 3/4 of an inch thick. You know, just your standard kind of catalog. Let's stab it. So it didn't go all the way through on that stab. We stab it again, it kind of came out, so we can get a good reference of how far we went through. So we went, right there's the tip, right here where my thumb is. I'm trying to do this to the camera, it's not the coolest. So I went about halfway through that catalog. You can see that right there. About halfway through, not bad at all. There's the tip right there. So that one actually went about 3/4 of the way through that time. So I guess, you know, stabbing down with the knife way out in front of me and the camera, it makes it a little difficult to cut, to do the stab test, but check out that tip. No damage to the tip whatsoever. I mean, it's got a nice stout tip. I mean, come in here, you kind of pry it back and forth like this. Check this out. Nope, nothing wrong with the tip. That's what she said. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there. Dude, let's do this. All right, guys. This is my brick. This thing right here, I've actually welded on this thing with a few knives, pommels on a few knives. haven't broke this brick yet. I took another knife and was just literally trying to do a destruction test because I was asked to. I was just like, wham, wham, hitting the hitting the edge of the blade on this thing. Took a couple of chunks out of it, but this thing for $1.20 something. Look at this brick is still solid, man. So we're gonna try out this attitude adjustment pommel right here. Let's see if we can't get this break the brick right now. So I'm gonna come back like this a little bit, hold my camera. All right, let me adjust this up a little bit. See my backyard there. I want to see if we can't get a nice, good shot here. There we go. All right, here we go. Attitude adjustment in 3, 2, 1. Bam. This might quite possibly be the most indestructible brick ever. But you can see right here, it was taking out some chunks. Let's flip this over to the other side. Nice clean side. Right, you can see that. Let's see. Let's do it again. 3, 2, 1. Looks like I might start getting a crack right here, but right there, take out some nice little chunks. But I'm going to tell you what, I sure as shit would not want to be hit in the head with this thing. Look at that. No damage to it. Got some red brick powder, but definitely going to bunk someone in the head with it. You definitely could. All right, let's get this back up. Get some more cutting footage, if you will. I don't know. Do you guys like this camera angle with this top down, or do you guys like the view of seeing me act like a Yahoo and seeing me do the cutting? I think seeing me do the cutting, I'm able to control a little bit better than trying to look through the camera. But I don't know. You tell me what you guys think. If you like to see this nice up close stuff. So here's some poly rope. This stuff's always a pain in the ass to cut. See, like this, it's difficult for me to cut through it because I'm trying to do it through the camera. But nice, clean cut through the rope there. No problem. So you had to come in and cut this stuff, you could. Got this big old kind of 3/8 thick style rope. You had to come in and, cut a chunk of this off. Saw through it. This stuff right here too kind of acts like sandpaper in a way as well because it's so fibrous and it's got, glue and dirt in it. I'm a little bit of a hard time cutting through this right now, but I'm doing it. I think, yeah, I still got a pretty decent edge here. I think cutting through that fire hose might have took a little bit of that edge off, which that's one thing I have noticed happens when I do cut with that fire hose. Because it acts like sandpaper, it does do a good job of taking a little bit of your edge off. And I would say that's true with just about every knife that I have done this with. Check. So I don't necessarily fault the knife for that, but it is what it is. Check that out. So you got some pant material here. You got to cut a pant leg off, come in here, cut through, no problem. Had to, make a makeshift tourniquet, strip this up into lashings. Got that nice little kind of thick cuff part there. Boop, popped it right through. That, no problem. What else we got here? Let's get this. Oh, can't go wrong with the old extension cord here. You guys see that right there? It's got the 3 pieces of copper wire that are protective sheath with another layer of sheathing on top. So we had to come through. Maybe you had to do a little chop, cut a chunk of this off for whatever reason. There you go. Nice clean cut, except I hit my camera. That's why this is where I don't like this. It makes it difficult to do that. without running the risk of hitting the camera. There we go. Got a little bit more room. Feel like getting them. There we go. See, nice clean cut. Feel like I'm gonna come up and whack, hit the camera. So let's do this. I'm gonna flip the camera back around. Kind of doing a little testing here today. It's not only on the knife but also on my camera work. So let's flip this camera around so I'm not worried about that. Stand by. All right, sorry about that, guys. I know I'm bouncing the camera around back and forth on you, but I want to be able to give you the best look at this knife in action. And when I'm kind of worried about hitting the camera, doing my little chops, I don't feel like I can do that. So now I can come in here and I can, bam, that piece just went flying off. You know, earlier I was like, because I was doing little mini chops. I can come in here and get a nice good whack, bam, there it goes. Nice clean cut. So if you had to come in here and cut some wire like that or something like that, you can do it with the Asset. Now I feel like I'm being able to show the knife a lot better, you know? So thanks for bearing with me. The brick, right, come in here, really get those good whacks on it, you know what I mean? So wanted to be able to do that. So cardboard. Now on that big old thicker rope, I feel like again, I said, I felt like this took some of the edge off. Didn't really take it off. It, like I said, it acts like sandpaper. So, but let's see if we still can cut this cardboard pretty clean. So it still cuts the cardboard pretty clean. And cardboard actually kind of acts like sandpaper too. It's a really rough material on a blade. Got this leather belt here. You guys can see that. I've busted this out a few times, but you had to come in here and cut a leather belt. Bam, cut through it, no problem. And on that one, I actually have the 2 layers plus the middle, plus this kind of crazy little outer decorative layer that I cut through. So it cut through like multiple layers of leather. So you could easily, like I said, come in here. Yeah, shave some pieces off. You see that? Kind of shaving them off there. Shave some pieces off, no problem. What else we got? Let's get to, oh, we got this, this is an old air hose that I had busted on me. So I figured, hey, why not use it? It's like a nylon kind of reinforced pressure hose. You know, it's a pressurized hose for air compressor. So, you know, if you had to come in here, cut a piece of this off. Stuff's pretty damn tough too. Do this, do a little stab in there. There we go. Like once you break through it, you can cut it, you know. There we go. Yeah. Cut it. Took a little bit of work, but it was able to do it. If you had to come in here and do a little chop pieces, you could chop a piece off. And when I did that, you can actually, I don't know if you can see those little fibrous hairs right there. This kind of helps reinforce the hose. So, pull hose. If you had to, like a breakdown radiator hose, something like that, you had to come in here and cut a piece of this off. Bam. Cut a piece off, no problem. Easy peasy. Let's do some, let's say you had to break a piece of wood down. You're out in the field, camping, survival situation or whatever. I'm going to use this for a batonic stick, but it's not quite ready to be a batonic stick because look, you got these little knots on here. So we're going to have to fix that first, right? So you had to come in here, you could choke back a little bit, do some light, you know, chopping, get those pieces off to make your batonic stick. Bam. Get that little piece off. Get that little knot off right there. Got one right here. Knock that off. You know, you don't want nothing sharp stabbing your hand while you're chopping on a piece of wood or banging on a piece of wood. You know what I mean? So you can smooth that out. Take those little pieces off. Like that. So you got a smoother handle for batoning. So is this knife necessarily designed to be a big batoner? No, I wouldn't use it for big giant logs. Like, I mean, you're not going to be going in and batoning a log like this, it's just not feasible, right? But if you had some smaller pieces like this thing right here, you could easily come down and break this down into definitely way smaller pieces to help build your fire. So, you know, you can come in here, place it on top. You know, you're not really going to town having to ham bone hit this until right now when you get through this knot. But you can come in, break this stuff down into way smaller pieces to make it easier to start the fire. If you had to come in, shave some pieces off, you can come up here, choke on it. I don't know if you can see those pieces flying off there. Or you could even come in and do some feather sticking, if you will. Trying to roll it. I don't know if you guys saw that piece fly off there. There it is. You know, you can make little feather sticks, if you will, like this one here. Make some shavings. I am not a bushcrafter, guys. I'm not a primitive fire maker by any means, anything like that. But you can do little curls, make your kindling, if you will. If you had to make your honey badger, wolverine, vampire steak, you know, because they're coming after you, you're out in the woods, you can come in here, do some light chopping again. This is a 3/8 inch thick dowel. So you can come in here, get your basic shape, and then take your knife and shave off some pieces. Save those for a fire later, you know, because you're going to cook that honey badger over it, right? Don't want that meat to go to waste. But you can come in here, shave off, make yourself a cool little, you know, vampire steak, if you will, or a tent steak. Yeah, let's call it a tent steak. But yeah, I mean, overall, this blade's going to be able to do quite a bit of tasks for you. It's going to, you know, adjust some attitudes. It's going to help you prep for a fire. You'll be able to strike a fire off with this 90. You can definitely do some self-preservation type stuff with it, you know, if you're into that type of stuff. Kind of go reverse grip. It's a good overall camp combat utility blade. It's going to be, it's SK85. I beat the hell out of this with a bunch of the other Worktuffgear knives that I have. I've yet to run into an issue with them. They hold an edge. They sharpen back up really well. I mean, they're just, Vic over there at Worktuff is just doing a phenomenal job making knives. And I mean, and it's evident in the fact that every time they have a drop, they sell out. I mean, if you're wanting to get a knife and you see it coming out, you better get on the website and be ready to go, because if not, they sell out really quick. You might be able to find these. Like, I know these are sold out on the website right now. Today is January 10th or 12th or something like that. I don't even know. You might be able to find these like at Knife Center or one of the other companies out there that carries Worktuff blades. So you might have to look around for this, but definitely worth getting into. And I'm sure there's going to be another run of these bad boys too. But with that being said, I would be remiss, I would be saddened if I didn't do this. Guys, the Worktuff Asset, the 4x4, 30 hits. Let's go right here, 30 hits right here. 30. Look at that, 30 hits right there with a 5-inch blade. Can't go wrong with that. All right, guys, thanks for watching the Worktuffgear Asset. Definitely go check them out. Thank you, Scott, for sending this to me to do a video on. It's an awesome blade. I love it. I'll get it back in the mail to you here after I sharpen it back up for you. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Please hit the like, subscribe button. Share with your friends if you got any friends that are interested in this type of stuff. I greatly appreciate it. Leave comments below on what you think about this combat utility field knife. All right, guys, stay safe, stay sharp, and we'll see you next time.